Antes de mais, queria só agradecer-vos a todos por estarem aqui. O meu nome é João Ferreira Gomes, eu sou o Business Line Manager desta área, que tem a ostomia e que agora vai introduzir os catéteres da cateterização intermitente da Hollister. Queria agradecer-vos o tempo que estão a despender connosco aqui, num fim de tarde, ainda para mais neste sítio que é bonito, mas que é difícil de chegar cá, porque houve muito trânsito, certo? Por isso chegaram um bocadinho atrasados, mas também se não fosse atrasado não era em Portugal começamos tudo atrasado, por isso. Eu não vos quero roubar muito tempo, agradecer-vos mais uma vez. Quem vai fazer a apresentação é Cheryl, que é Product and Clinical Education Manager da Hollister. Ela é enfermeira com muitos anos de experiência. Aquilo que nós queremos é que vocês vejam aquilo que nós vamos introduzir no mercado a muito breve trecho e que ponham todas as dúvidas que tiverem. Tenham cá a pessoa mais especializada para vos poder ajudar. E mais uma vez, muito obrigado. Até já. Cheryl, it's you. The floor is yours.
So, good evening, everybody. I'm delighted to be here in Lisbon. Thank you for the introduction. My name is Cheryl Thomas. I'm a clinician by background. I've worked in ostomy care and nutrition care for many years, and I joined Hollister 14 years ago. So we speak the same language from a clinician perspective. We go to work every day to make a difference, and I am delighted that you have taken time out from your busy schedule after a long working day to join us today for our meeting. Because your attendance not only signifies your expertise as a clinician, but it also signifies your commitment to keeping up to date with new products on the market, which you can then take back to your clinical area to use in clinical practice to give your patients better outcomes. So thank you very much for us being here. And I would just like to introduce Mark, who is also from Hollister, and we'll be with you all evening. And I'm sure Mark always likes to have a little closing, so we'll talk more later. Okay. So for you all in the room today, you probably know Hollister from manufacturing ostomy products. And I just want to walk you through a little bit of the history of Hollister and share with you one of our manufacturing plants. So this is our manufacturing plant in Ireland, and you will see the little tiny red dot of its location in Ireland. We employ over 1,000 employees at this particular plant, and we manufacture 2 ostomy brands called Danzac and Hollister, but we also manufacture our continence care products. So continence care also has a significant holding within this manufacturing plant from our research and design centre, and we manufacture 58 million continence care catheters per year. So continence care makes quite a large chunk of our portfolio within the Hollister brand. And just keeping on the theme of Hollister, our story and the roots of Hollister date back to 1921, and this is our founder, John Dickinson Schneider, and he founded a small printing company in Chicago, and he built a solid reputation for quality and service. And this is something that John Dickinson Schneider said about the company, being that only first class is good enough. And that was his underlying principle moving forward within the business. But he also had principles whereby every employee of Hollister followed. And these were dignity to the person, integrity, stewardship, and service. And our overall mission at Hollister, whether that's in ostomy care or continence care, is to make life more rewarding and dignified for those patients that use our products and services. So 1921 Hollister was founded, and in 1948 the company basically then first started manufacturing healthcare products, and soon afterwards they followed the production of baby identification bands. So when babies are born, the little tags that you see on babies were the first ever medical product that Hollister manufactured. So then in the 1960s, we moved on to be developing new products within ostomy care. And then in 1977, we became an independent, privately owned company. And in 1981 is where we had our first continence products. And you can see here, the first continence care product was the male external catheters. In 1989, Hollister decided they wanted to have a presence in Europe, and we purchased a ostomy manufacturing company in Copenhagen, and that was the Danzak brand. So then moving to 2009, we then launched our first hydrophilic intermittent catheter. So, well, to me, 2009 doesn't feel that long ago. So you can see that we were quite a late entry into the continence care market. But we came out with really innovative products, and we launched Vapro, which is an intermittent hydrophilic catheter with a protective tip and sleeve. 2017 saw the Infyna range, and this is what we're going to be focusing on today. And then a year later, we've come out with our most discreet catheter, being Infyna Chic. So this is really super exciting for you all to see. So to give you an overview, you can see that Hollister's catheters have a history of evolution and innovation based on understanding user needs. And what I mean by Hollister understanding user needs is that Hollister partners and listens to our customers. And our customers can be distributors, they can be clinicians like yourself, and they can also be end users. But wherever we listen and take our feedback from, we remain customer focused, and all our features are based on end users and clinicians' feedback. Okay. So this is what we're all here for. This is what we've all come to know more about. And I want to just introduce you to the Infyna intermittent catheter. And we're going to focus first of all on the female ready-to-use hydrophilic intermittent catheter. So in your bags you will have a little packet that looks a little bit like this. I'm just looking around to check that everybody's got a little packet. Okay. Yeah, I think everybody's got one. So you will see the female intermittent catheter, and you will see that it's quite a geometric design on the packaging, and it's identifiable not only on by the pink label on the front. So when we look at the male catheter, you'll see that the label is, the background is grey, but for this particular female one, we've got this lovely blush pink colour. Okay. So when we look at the top of the catheter, you will see that we have easy to open packaging. You will see that there are two nice thumb pulls there, and the thumb pulls are easy enough to insert your fingers, and as you basically have your pull force, it's very easy to open at the top. Bless you. Okay. So the packaging opens very nicely, just to showcase the funnel. The packaging itself is PVC friendly, and it's environmentally sustainable, and it complies with free from PVC and DHHP. Okay. When we take the catheter out of the package, you will see that we have a gripper which is adequately big enough to hold your fingers on, yeah. And you will see that there are serrations, so your fingers are not going to slip down the catheter. You're welcome to take it out, everybody, of the catheter. So holding the catheter just gives you that more control when on insertion. You'll also take the catheter out and you'll see that the tube is transparent. This allows you to have good visibility, and if there's identify any irregularities within the urine. Okay, so you'll see that it's a nice, crisp visual tube. You'll also see that the funnel's quite flexible. So there's, if on this one, you can see that the funnel is nice and flexible, and by having a flexible funnel allows that control of urine when you're inserting. So I can see that you've all flexed that really nicely. Okay. When you feel the catheter, you'll feel that it is really quite lubricious, we call it, and the coating, so it helps with easy insertion and easy removal. Okay. Okay, everybody had a look at the... Okay. So looking at the male catheter, you should all be able to spot this in your bags. So it's the same easy opening package with the thumb holds or finger holds, whichever is the preferred way of opening. And again, you can see that it opens really quite easily with little pull force. Okay, so you've all got an orange funnel, and then when you take the catheter out, so the packaging is of the same material as the female, and the only difference that you will see is that we have what we call a glider. So you can see the glider is at the top of the catheter. It moves very smoothly along the catheter, so it helps with insertion and not contaminating the catheter that will be going down the urethra. Okay. Everybody identified the sliding gripper? Yeah. Okay. So
No, and both sides. Yeah, that's 16 inch, but it's
for each of the male catheters, you will still get the sliding gripper. So whether it's a different French gauge or Charrier size, yeah.
and it always stays. Sorry to. If you open it, it will always be. No, I've got a green one. It is always. There are catheters, and we learned from. Sorry. There are catheters. We also have some kind of a slider, but if you get them out, this is normally not sticked here. So you take them out, and this thing falls on the ground. So we made sure that all the catheters, if you open, the slider is stick to the handle, so you don't drop it. And then, of course, you can use it, and then and it's very, I don't know, very soft. So if it touches the top of the penis, it will. Sorry if I.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
It's very soft, so if it touches the penis, it won't hurt or do any damage. Sorry.
Any more questions about the sliding gripper? I think when you look at the other manufacturers on the market, like Mark says, they you would think that there wouldn't be such a difference, but actually when you hold the product, you can see that they slide very differently, and the softness of this particular gripper doesn't need a huge amount of force in order to give that control, whereas some of them are really quite hard to just press when you're moving it down the catheter. So the two finger hole peels apart, and the packaging is much lighter. We do have some other manufacturing brands for you to look at, and you'll just feel that the overall weight of the packaging is much lighter than many others on the market. When we looked at a survey, we did get feedback that the packaging is much easier to open than other manufacturers. And also that the packaging, it's better for users, and it's also better for the planet. I don't know how many times your patients may ask you about the environmental impact of products, but I think that that's a conversation that many are having now within clinical practice. So the overall catheterization experience for both male and female is really enhanced by the technology that Hollister has. And we stand by that our catheters are more lubricious, and the coating that we have, the technology that's driven behind it, is only available within this particular brand, and will not be seen in any other manufacturer's products. So the lubricious coating and the lubricating technology is what we call HydroBalance, and the HydroBalance technology is sourced from natural ingredients, and essentially it creates that smooth gliding, not only to protect the urethra on insertion, but also on withdrawal as well. So what we're wanting to do is create that most comfortable experience when catheterizing, so that our patients feel much more confident and the experience is much more natural. So to tell you a little bit more about HydroBalance, we have just a short video for you to see.
In nature, everything is balanced, down to the smallest detail. We, too, are a marvel of nature, perfected over millions of years. Sometimes we have to intervene with nature to help support our body's needs. That's why we invented HydroBalance lubricating technology for a more natural catheter experience. What does that mean? The main function of the urethra is to drain urine from the bladder. The use of catheters means that urine is emptied through a tube via the urethra. Catheter lubrication is used to protect sensitive tissue, minimize possible microtrauma during use, and support the natural urethral balance. We at Hollister have spent years developing a completely new technology for lubricating our catheters. The catheter is is coated with a hydrophilic coating and then covered with a uniquely formulated hydration fluid. This gently penetrates the coating and causes it to swell. The combination of hydrophilic coating and hydration fluid creates a smoothly gliding hydrogel cushion when in contact with the urethra. The enhanced hydration fluid contains naturally sourced ingredients. These ingredients help lubricate the urethra during cathing. One of these ingredients, glycerol, is produced naturally by the body. Glycerol provides osmotic water balance in the urethra during catheterizing. The hydrogel cushion also leads to a more consistent and longer-lasting lubricity. That helps to prevent tissue damage, which leaves skin exposed to bacteria and therefore minimizes the risk of urinary tract infections. Overall, HydroBalance lubricating technology provides the right balance of naturally sourced ingredients to ensure the intermittent catheter experience is as natural as possible. The catheter glides effortlessly for ease of use, giving users confidence and more time for living. Almost as perfect as nature itself.
I don't know whether anybody else has experienced that some catheters, when you peel back the packaging and you're taking the catheter out, there's quite a lot of water and mess that comes out and drips and spills. What you will have noticed as well is that not only is it going to give you that more comfortable cathing experience, but it's just the mess and the drips and spills as well. So if you're in the bathroom, sat on the toilet and you're pulling this out, there are others there on the market that will create like a dripping effect. If any of those drips go onto clothing, you'll find that they do offer and dry out with a little bit of staining that looks like dried salt water. So you'll see the little crystals of the normal saline solution that if they've been sat in appearing as stains on clothing. So I think from the ease of opening of the Infyna range, whether it's male or female, and pulling the catheter out, the gripper, the funnel size, the flexible funnel, the clear tubing, I think overall, I hope that you can see that it is an overall more comfortable and natural experience for patients using these products. Okay. So now moving on to Infyna Chic. And in your bags, you will find something that looks a little bit like this. Okay, so just keep it in your hand for the moment, and we'll go through the steps to open it and removing the catheter one by one. So Infyna Chic was designed and launched in 2018. And Infyna Chic was designed by end users and also clinicians. And what we found from the insights regarding female catheterization is that most females had specific concerns about post-use hygiene. And what each of these end users told us when we did the survey as well is that urine spills or drips when carrying a used catheter. So when we asked these specific questions about hygiene post-use, 84% of patients told us that they were concerned when carrying a used catheter in their bag. They also told us that they were concerned about the smell of urine when carrying a used catheter before disposal in their bag. And they also told us that they felt it was really quite unhygienic to go to a bathroom, use a catheter pop it back into the packaging, pop it back into the handbag, they felt that there was something really not quite hygienic about that process. So females also told us that due to their condition, that they also felt certain emotions, which I'm sure you are all experienced with. And the female patients were telling us that they felt lost, they felt hopeless, they felt self-conscious, they felt embarrassed, and they felt isolated from their catheterization process. And this is where Infyna Chic gained its design from. So we called the campaign Break Free. We wanted female patients to break free from those emotions of feeling hopeless, lost, self-conscious. And you will see all of those design features within the catheter itself. So how does Infyna Chic empower women to live their way? And there are 3 specific categories which we focused in with each of the design features. So we wanted to design a product which was designed for discretion, which was subtle and feminine. We felt that every woman deserved a comfortable catheterization, an uncomplicated process. So we wanted the product to be easy to use. So we wanted it to be comfortable and natural. And we also wanted the catheter to be, to not have worries about it leaking if we were going to put the catheter into our bag post-use. Okay. So, oh, okay. I think there's something's gone wrong here with the presentation. Okay. The clicker's not working. So each of those categories, we're just going to walk through each of the categories. So we're just going to focus now on the discretion perspective. So when we look at the catheter, I think that you will all agree that the catheter, it looks sleek, it looks feminine, and it looks non-medical. And I think that you will agree that it's discreet enough to be carried in a handbag, or it's discreet enough to be in a pocket. And if the catheter was to fall out, it would probably look like a mascara, it would look like a lip gloss, and nobody would know what this product was for. So what was interesting is that discretion was the second most important feature of the catheter after ease of use. So really quite high up there on a user need perspective. So, but that's not just us saying that we think it's discreet, it's patients saying it as well. And when we surveyed patients using the catheter, these are a couple of feedbacks that we got from patients. So they loved the colour, this simple kind of blush pink colour. They all agreed that it was discreet enough to be probably thought of as a mascara or a lip gloss. And they were thrilled that the product didn't look medical whatsoever. So all in all, the overall appearance of Infyna Chic was more than acceptable to the patients that used it. Anybody got any feedback with what you think this looks like compared to what you may use in your clinical practice?
Not at all.
You don't have anything similar? Okay, so this is really like new. It's a new product for you guys to use. So when you look at it, what are your thoughts as a clinician? If you were to offer this to a patient looking like this, would you feel?
First of all, when I see this, I felt like it was like a tube of mascara, like you said. But if I am presenting this product to the for the end user, the patient, I think that first of all he will look to this and he will feel that this is not a medical product.
Yeah, okay. So when we compare the female range in the packet or in the case, do you think it would make your patients feel quite different?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot different.
We have this like similar.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah. To brands that have this like a pen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the woman likes it. No?
The woman likes it, okay. So when you see this particular product with the ones that you're used to using, like, do you from an appeal, I'm just talking just looks now, not performance, but like an appeal factor for a woman, do you think that it's equal to the ones that you're offering at the minute, or do you think it would be slightly more appealing?
I think it would be slightly more.
Slightly more appealing,
Sure.
okay. Has it got something to do with the pretty pink colour?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Okay.
The product design is for the patient will feel more comfy with this.
Yeah, yeah.
And I chic, like the name.
The chic, yeah, we all want to be a little bit chic, don't we, as ladies? So yeah, Chic is a beautiful name. I think that the colour personally is just beautiful. What we found from other markets and other female catheter patients is that sometimes they will just in the home they're happy to use a product like this, but then maybe for going out and when they're having to put their products into their handbags, they would choose to take this with them, just because they don't know in a public toilet whether there would be disposal facilities. So I think it's having that assurance that this is just discreet, it's nice and portable in the bag, it's not going to rustle and make any noise as well in the bathroom, so it is much more transportable. So everybody has their own preference, they can be used 100% of the time or 50% of the time. So, and I think that's the beauty of having that choice.
Why not for the men?
Why not for the men?
I know it's 40 centimeters, but
Correct.
we can have a product like samurai blades. It's very manly.
Well, we'll take your details and we'll bring you to
Samurai
Hollister
blades.
to our design team.
Why not? Fluorescent. Red or green fluorescent.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I mean,
For Japanese, samurai blades.
okay. Any more thoughts about just the overall appearance of the product as it stands right now?
So far, so
That's it. So okay, we're okay. Okay. So we focused first of all on discretion, and we said that was second on the user needs of preference and concerns for patients. So at top of the list was easy to use. Every patient wants a product that's easy to use. You guys want a product that's easy to use, because if it's easy to use, it's easy to teach. And we want our patients to adopt these new skills of catheterization with confidence and feel comfortable in doing so. So, Easy to use with optimal comfort is where we were wanting to go with this product, and we wanted it to be as natural and as straightforward as possible. Okay, so we offer for different sizes. Okay, so there's a choice with regard to what French gauge you use, so it should fit every woman that's in your caseload. We also wanted the product to be easy to open, and you will see that we have a little lip on the edge there. So the idea is that we can open the product with one hand. So if you just open up the product, it sounds like champagne. I think that's appealing to a woman as well. Big champagne opening. So you will hear a pop, but you will equally as well be able to open the product much more quiet as well. So it's basically either a pop of champagne or it's a very discreet opening with one hand. Okay. Once it's open with one hand, we say that there are just 3 steps to insertion. So we open, we remove, and we insert. So there's only 3 steps to actually using the catheter. And what you will notice when you pull the catheter out is that there's not a terrible mess and splash of water that comes out. Also, if I were to knock the catheter downwards, there's no spilling that's going to come out of there either. I think if you give it a real good shake, you might get a few little drops, but you've got to be quite forceful, and I'm sure that none of our patients would be doing that with the product. Once we've used the product, you'll find that popping it back into the case is very easy. You get a nice like little click on pushing the catheter down into the case, and when you reseal, you feel confident that the product has resealed. When you take the catheter out, you will see and feel that you've got the HydroBalance technology coating. We've got that clear tubing again to see any irregularities with any urine, and we have this lovely non-slip grooves to make holding the funnel much easier as well. Any questions with regard to the go back to this, with the product opening and the ease of use? Easy to open with one hand? Yeah? Very easy. What you'll also notice as well is that the little round sticker, if we were out for a full day and we were taking 4 catheters with us, you would be able to easily identify which catheters have been used and which catheters have not been used, because you would see the seal along the sticker edge there. If for any reason you couldn't open the product with one thumb, that little lip is for the boys in the room, or maybe the girls as well. You can use the lip on the edge of something just to open it as well. And yeah, because that's where you're popping the bottles. You can also use it on the edge of the table as well. Yeah. I did have one patient saying, yeah, you can just open it with your teeth as well. Not so sure about that, but I mean, it is possible to do that as well. Any questions, comments, or thoughts on the actual ease of use, opening the product, taking the product out, reinserting? For you guys that have got experience with these ones, from my knowledge, I don't think you can do it with one hand, can you?
Not so easy to open.
Pull them out.
I think it's very promising.
Yeah.
It's promising, okay.
Because I recognize it that your competitors well, the ones that have compact catheters, yeah, you can paint it with the color you like, but in the end of the day, there's fluid in it.
There is, yeah.
And you have well, okay, if you use it regularly, then you adapt and you avoid getting wet.
You do, yeah, you do.
Sure.
Because I think
You
you'll
have
know.
to learn how to use it.
yeah.
Sure.
And you learn how to position
Yeah.
it to your
You
patients to
wet
make
yourself
the
one time, 2 times, and then you learn it.
Yeah.
Supposedly.
And I think that like the purpose of us like looking at the product together today, it's not to say, oh, look at the competition, Hollister's better. I think that you obviously are seeing patients, you're seeing their abilities in having to like catheterize, and it's important that we just basically share with you just the differences in products so that then you can educate the patients. But I think I fully support what you're saying in that we do adapt with the products that we've got. But if we didn't have to adapt, that might be quite nice for us as well, that we can just be much more confident when showing patients products.
I think it's a good.
So far, so good. So far, so good. Promising. I like the word promising. Okay. So why is it important and why does it matter that the Infyna Chic is easy to use with that optimal comfort? Well, it matters because when we did our survey, the female end users basically rated that this is the most important feature that a catheter had. So, did you know Infyna Chic catheters have got this hydrobalance lubricating technology? You do now. And what that gives us is it gives us that smooth and comfortable on catheter insertion and withdrawal. It protects that urethra from trauma. And then obviously reducing that trauma is going to minimize urinary tract infections. And 90% of patients agree that the catheter make it much less complicated using the Chic version. Okay. These are just the statistics from other countries that have used the product. 93% saying easy to use, 90% saying that they found it comfortable, and 90% agree that, again, it's less complicated. So having, and this is a nice quote, having arthritic hands, Infyna Chic was an easy product to use. Okay. So the next category is all about hygiene and confidence, and the female patients said that they had concerns about using or taking home a product that had been used. So with this particular product, you will get a catheter case with that reliable airtight seal and hygienic design. And you can even see visually the little ring there that helps with the resealing. You've all taken the product out as well, and you can see that nothing drips or spills. And you'll also find, probably not with the seats that you're in now, but the case sits securely and hygienically on most surfaces. The catheter, when we've done our studies, is 100% leak-free when closed. So that obviously gives that reassurance that any lingering smells are going to be tightly kept within the actual case of the product. So when we look at the hygienic tests that we did, we looked at two things within the labs, and one of the studies that we did was a handbag containment study. And to walk you through this particular study, we took an Infyna Chic catheter and we popped it into a handbag with very different conditions. So I know this slide's quite small probably from where you're sitting, but on the top you will see that we have a handbag, and inside the handbag we put some regular female contents in there, such as a phone, a wallet, a lip balm. We did the study around a COVID time, so there was a face mask in there. We also put a spare catheter case in there, and we also put a towel. So the first line is just popping the catheter into a handbag on its own. So we just basically simulated a used catheter and popped it into the handbag with all the other items. And you can see when we tested for bacteria, where the bacteria had gravitated to. So you can see on the face mask, you can see there was quite a significant amount of bacteria. On the interior of the handbag itself, there was quite a significant growth. There wasn't one category along that top line that didn't have some area of contamination. So the second way that we put the catheter into the handbag was wrapping it in a towel. So it was just simply a tissue, used catheter, wrapping it into a towel and popping it back into the bag. So you can see there that there was a much less presence of bacteria on the items, but you can see there that the face mask, the hand sanitizer, and the interior of the handbag was contaminated with bacteria of some form. So the last category you'll see is the actual catheter being used for its purpose, which was putting it back into the case, sealing the lid, and popping it back into the handbag. And you can see that it was zeros across the board. So this study gave us that reassurance that 100% of the time popping a used catheter into a handbag was going to have no contamination on other contents of the bag, but also the lining of the bag itself. Okay. So then moving on to odour containment study. And if you remember earlier on in the presentation, one of the end users gave feedback around obviously the fear of the catheter smelling when they'd used it and popped it back into their handbag. So we partnered with clinicians for this particular study, and we basically tried to enact ammonia within the catheter. So ammonia is really quite strong smelling, and when you buy it in its bottle form. We soaked some towels, we popped it inside the catheter, we sealed the lid, and we asked nurses to see whether they could identify the ammonia soaked towel inside the case. So Mark, I'd like to ask somebody from the audience whether they would be willing to smell the catheters and correctly or incorrectly identify the ammonia-soaked catheter.
One of these 5, and I also broke all lids, so you cannot see it on the lid. That was a mistake.
All the seals are broken. We did that in South Africa and we forgot to break the seal.
So if one of you can think that he can smell it from the outside, which one has the ammonia, feel free. Yeah. Only one has got it. So.
Probably can just smell Mark's aftershave.
Sorry. I also always need to pop them open to see which one it is, because I didn't mark them. But no? There is one.
You want to pop them all open, and just so that you can tell everybody that there's definitely one that's got ammonia.
And watch out with smelling, of course.
It's not definitely not that one.
No,
that you
no,
said.
no, you.
Not sexual.
Mm. Oh, we keep. Woo. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So there's enough ammonia in it, isn't it?
So
you can all try it in the end. by the way.
yeah. So at the end of the
Thank you very
presentation,
much.
please come up and try and
I know your
identify
noises
that.
are now- It's open, eh?
But I think that what just this, proves to us is that the ammonia soaked towel that Mark's loaded this particular catheter with is nothing like what urine would smell like. So this is kind of probably a zillion more times stronger than what the ammonia or like the urine smell that you would get from a used catheter. So please come and have a smell and see whether you can identify which one is ammonia smell. Okay. So when we look at the packaging, it looks like a mascara, it looks like a lip gloss. People may say, well, is that going to be hanging around on the environment for years and years and years? But we have been working really hard and continue to do so with the casing to make it much more sustainable. This has changed over the years since launch, that it's now 11% less plastic, and we are reducing its global warming impact by 42%. So Infyna Chic, know it as the break free. We want to break free all these concerns that our female patients have using intermittent catheterizations. When you think about Infyna Chic, there's 3 things that you would need to just educate your patients on. That the product has been designed with discretion, it's been designed easy to use, and it's been designed to give that confidence, that leak-free, reliable seal when carrying a used product. So essentially what the Infyna Chic will do is empower women to live their life their way. So the packaging comes with 30 in a box, and you have, there's only 3 sizes on there, but you will have 4 sizes available for you to use for the ladies that you care for in your clinical practice. So any lasting thoughts or comments about what you've seen with the Infyna Chic?
It's for single use.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like any other catheter. Yeah, just single use. Silence. I know that you're all wanting to come and smell. And I think for you guys that maybe don't have, because these are the regular intermittent catheters, and then these are what I describe more as a compact catheter. It's obviously come after we've finished speaking and take a look at the other competitors that are on the market that offer something similar. Okay, so you are all here for your clinical expertise and your valued and expert opinion, and hopefully we'll be able to try the product and feedback to the team locally. So the clinical resources that you will have to support trying the product are a brochure which will detail the features and benefits. You will be able to have a female user guide, and this is for the Infyna range. And there will also be a very short product evaluation, which we would ask you to complete. So the product evaluation will obviously give feedback on each and individual use that you have with the Infyna female. For the Infyna male, we have again a brochure. We also have a patient user guide which will be available for you to walk through using the product with patients, and there is also a bacterial contamination video which shows that gripper slider in action. So even if your patients are not going to speak English, it will show them how that bacterial contamination and how it reduces that infection risk. Product evaluation as well will also be available for the male catheter. Infyna Chic, nice brochure, patient information. There are also some videos which can be accessed on the Hollister website, which show how to use the product. And we have two different versions, one for patients that are in wheelchairs and one for other patients who have regular mobility. Okay. So when we think about clinical evidence, this is the evidence hierarchy here, and you can see that there are very many different levels of clinical expert and evidence that we rely on in our clinical practice. So at the bottom we have expert opinion, and right at the top we have systematic reviews. And essentially, all levels of our evidence are helpful for us in our clinical practice. And you might be thinking, well, why is this relevant? And it's relevant because this relates to the product evaluation. Because the product evaluation is your experience, it's your real-world evidence. And the benefits for you guys is that it means that your professional voice is heard and it's valued, not only by Hollister, but also by Palex, that they've introduced a product to you that's going to make your working lives easier. A product evaluation also gives you opportunities to network with your peers and thought leaders. And it does open up doors for your professional development if you are wanting to write case studies, whether you're wanting to attend conference with poster publications, because this gives you that visibility and recognition is that you've contributed to providing that feedback and making positive patient outcomes. Okay, so this gathering, it's an opportunity to connect, to have your voice heard, listen to other people's opinions and thoughts about new products that are entering your hospitals. And your voice is not only valued by us at Hollister, it's also valued by Joanna and the team at Palex. So we're going to finish the session very shortly, but I please urge you to come speak to Mark, come and look at the other little demonstrations that we've got, look at the competitor compact products that we've also brought along with us today. But also we'd like to give you the opportunity to crack the safe. We have a beautiful Chic safe over on the table. And there's a few questions that we have, and if you manage to answer these questions, the answers are all numbers, and the numbers relate to the code. If you crack the code, there may be a prize inside. So please, that's just a little bit of fun. But I just want to thank you all for attending tonight. You've had a long day at work. And I'll hand you back to the team, and hopefully you'll come and see more of the products on the little stand there. And have a glass of wine, of course. But thank you all for coming tonight. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Can I use also
Just a few minutes, I want to say something also.
Sorry. Thank you, Cheryl, for your presentation. Oh, if everybody wants to speak now. Yeah, thank you for being here, and I just want to add something on the whole presentation. It was again fantastic to see. The reason why, and Cheryl showed it on the screen, we are an employee-owned company. We are a business who is not into for the money. We're making the best products, and we want to make sure that we give the best products. So we listen to your voice, we listen to the voices of the end users to make our products. That's how all these products have been evolved to the products which is now available. And I'm really happy that we can bring this portfolio with the help of Alex to Portugal, because I think this is really a new start in bringing our latest technologies, but especially also our latest lubrication. You are the first country who got the lubrication the way it is. We worked on it 8 or 9 years to get this lubrication done. It's been tested in many countries as fantastic lubrication, so I would dare you to say, try it, and let's see what your end users think of it. It's smooth, it's so new, and it's totally environmental with your insides, though it doesn't dry out, it brings all the good things. So please give your patients the best product they can have, and try it out, and please let us know. Thank you. It was just a short one.
Eu queria só acrescentar uma coisa, porque eu acho que ouvi, ou pelo menos assim no canto do olho, pareceu-me ouvir algumas perguntas relativamente a se estes produtos iam ser comparticipados. Quais deles é que iam ser comparticipados? São todos. Vão estar todos disponíveis e são todos comparticipados, inclusivamente esse.
Eu só ia perguntar se já estavam no mercado.
Estamos a fazer o lançamento agora, vamos ter a primeira, the first shipment, a primeira ordem chega na próxima semana. Já temos os códigos todos exatamente igual, porque o canal de distribuição será, enfim, nos hospitais, mas depois os pacientes vão buscar às farmácias. Já temos o código, temos tudo, a prescrição, ou seja, basta fazer a prescrição e eles vão lá, o CNP está feito, está tudo exatamente igual aos outros, exatamente igual ao material de ostomia, vão estar todos disponíveis e são todos comparticipados.